Okay, I'm going to teach everybody a lot of really good things today, because if you are an attractive man, and let's say on paper you have all the boxes checked, you're in good shape, you make good money, okay, you have things going for yourself, you have good style, you have good fashion, and for whatever reason, let's say you cannot seem to figure out why the woman that you're interested in stops messaging you, or you can't seem to figure out why your girlfriend pulled back, or something like that, okay? In today's video, you're going to see why women reject attractive men for this one specific reason when dating, okay? And the one specific reason is this, okay? Lesson 1 regarding women and female nature is this. Women only want what they cannot have. Women only want what they can't have when dating. This is very important to understand. Like, if she knows she can have you at any point and you are not going anywhere, it's almost like she fundamentally just loses desire. So what you're going to find is that women do not want the men who overtly want them, okay? So listen close, okay? You can be on an initial first date. It could be your girlfriend of 5 years, or you could be married for 10 years. You have to always keep them guessing and wondering if your emotions are still fully engaged. The second she feels like she fully has you, it's over. So this is the biggest problem that I see, is a lot of times guys who consider themselves attractive, or they're in that category, start breaking the rules, thinking that they can basically overtly compliment and overtly validate and overtly show their interest level and have no negative response. And that's just not true, okay? Women want a challenge, because the second they don't have a challenge, they lose interest. So the biggest question most guys go through is this right here. They say, well, how do I end up liking a woman, or how do I actually have a relationship with a woman, okay? Because you have to look at it this way. A relationship, like, the fundamental idea is that two people like each other. That's why there's a relationship. So you might be sitting there saying, well, how do I have a relationship with a woman or like a woman when they get turned off by the men who are interested in them in the first place? You might be sitting there going, well, if she gets turned off by somebody being interested in her, then how does this even work? So listen closely, okay? What you have to do is you have to understand the sweet spot, okay? The sweet spot of where attraction is actually created. So I'm going to give you two situations or two circumstances. Situation number 1, if you show absolutely zero interest when you talk, okay, you might be sitting there talking and talking and talking, and you run the risk of now getting friend zoned. You run the risk of getting put into the friend zone because there was no interest, and she might think that you have no confidence to actually communicate what your desire is. Or situation number 2, okay, if you're too overt, okay, and you give too many compliments and you show your interest too overtly, okay, now she doesn't like you because she knows that she can have you. So both situations won't work. You have to understand the sweet spot, okay? You need the sweet spot. So what that looks like, okay, is there is slight interest. You are going to say things and do things that demonstrates slight interest, potential interest, that stimulates the what if factor. What if he likes me? What if he doesn't like me? What if he wants to see me again? What if I never hear from him again? Slight interest, but you're not fully sold on her. This is important to understand. You show slight interest, but you're not fully sold on having a relationship with her, or even continuing the interaction. So, you are looking for ways to even disqualify the interaction as a whole. When you do this, you appear like you're a man with actual options. This is very important to understand. So let me explain to you why this is needed and why so many guys struggle with this. This is needed because you become a man who uses some discernment and knows how to actually qualify the woman on deeper level criteria you're looking for, which now allows you to carry yourself like you're high value, or you have some kind of status, or you might be pre-selected, okay? You're using some discernment and you know how to actually add qualifications for the type of relationship you're looking for, because what women see is that most men are sold on beauty alone. Most men are won over strictly through beauty. And now what happens is all the things coming out of his mouth is purely to hopefully do the things to gain her interest level. And women pick up on this and women notice this, okay? So this is why, for example, in my process, I call it the language of women, okay? Because you need to find ways to actually verbally master this. You need to find ways to actually learn, understand, and master the language of women, which is why I tell you in almost every video, go and copy paste that process into your dating life after today's video is over. This is important. This is why I call it the language of women, because you have to understand this. You need to find ways to verbally disqualify her to make it seem like you're not fully sold at an A+ level, that this is the amazing relationship that you're looking for, and because of that, now she actually desires to put in some effort beyond just a beauty level, okay? Let me show you just a few very easy ways you can do this, okay? The first thing you could do is teasing in a masculine to feminine dynamic. You say things that imply slight interest between the masculine and the feminine through teasing. The second thing that you could do is you create imagery and fantasy verbally. Pictures, scenarios, vocal tone, things that are going on in nature, making her giggle. She starts to laugh, now she likes you. She feels some type of emotion. Another thing that you could do, for example, is role play that you and her will not get along. Now, when you do this, what you're actually doing here is you're finding ways to spark emotion. Now, you could probably go find a bunch of videos on specific examples of how to do this, but this is what I can tell you works best because you are your own unique personality. Here's what works best. These three basic principles that I wrote down right here. Teasing, playfully, right? Creating imagery and fantasy or even role-playing that you and her will not get along. If you just go get a piece of paper and a pen, and you just write down a few examples that fits your own personality to do this, that's going to be way better. That's going to be way better than trying to copy-paste some type of very specific sentence that somebody else created. You as a man, you need to be the creator in your own life. Be sure to do that simply by using your own imagination and your own creativity. That's how you start to get ahead, okay? That's how you start to get ahead. That's how you actually find ways to spark emotion. Now, despite you being attractive on paper, if you wrote down all the attractive qualities about yourself, you might look at yourself and be like, wow, you know, I'm actually fairly attractive. Women fundamentally do not feel anything around most men that they are around, okay? So what happens is they are not interested in them because they don't feel anything. So now she doesn't feel anything when she speaks to you, so now she's not attracted to you, okay? So they also can't change this or help this. It's just female nature in general. So it's not like something she's actively choosing, like, oh, because this happened, now I don't like him. No, it just happens. Just like you wake up and some days you're hungry and it just happened, or you didn't sleep good, so naturally you're tired, so it just happened. This is one of those things that just happens. If the sentences and the words coming out of your mouth do not do the right thing, this is what happens. So a woman may have interest and then all of a sudden just not reply and tell herself nothing came of it. And here's what you're going to understand. Because she feels he didn't know how to actually make something come of it. So at the end of the day, what she's going to notice is she's going to still feel like the guy that she's talking to is in some way, shape, or form the creator of the right energy and the right vibe, which is him leading, which means you need to know how to do this. This is why I keep telling you, your job is to learn, understand, and master the language of women, because this is what I can tell you. Day by day, you are getting older. You are getting older. You have to understand that you're getting older. We have one life, which means you need to actually make the most of it and reach your potential. For some of you, that might mean getting an amazing girlfriend. For some of you, that might mean creating the family that you've always wanted one day with an amazing wife. For some of you, that might mean, being able to have the courage and the confidence to talk to whoever you want. But you have to reach your potential. Every day that you don't actually push forward to your own goals, it's a day that you lost. Every day, refine your skill to the highest degree possible. Actually achieve your goals. This is how you do it. You take that first step and you say, no matter what, I'm going to actually win because I'm going to put in the effort needed to figure this out. And while every single guy might sit there and say, oh, you know, that's too much work, I don't want to, is it even worth it? Cool, let them say that. More options for you. You've decided to be that guy that actually takes action in his own life. This is why you have to do this. Join us inside of that community after today's video is over. You can communicate differently, which unlocks her desire. This is what you have to know. You have the ability to communicate differently. And at first, it might feel different. Like, you have to look at it this way. First, you have to learn how to crawl before you learn how to stand, and then you have to learn how to stand before you learn how to walk, and then you have to learn how to walk before you learn how to run. That means every day you take small steps towards success. It's like every day you just get under the barbell, and you keep doing the reps, and you do the reps, and you do the reps, and you do the reps, and you get better. This isn't supposed to be easy day one. This takes time to master. Which is why I tell you, it is your job to learn, understand, and master the language of women. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.